All right, hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter today, and this is Chatter with Statter. It looks like we have got folks in the house already. Terry and Scotton saying aloha to me, and meow to Ashes, Dusty, and Leo. Leo came in just the other night, and it looks like, wait, is Puzzycat here? It looks like somebody, wait, is Puzzycat here? Well, anyway, okay, all right, how about I stop? Okay, so what I'm gonna do instead is say, hey, Baby Bo, good to see you. Hang around for a minute. I'm gonna be talking sort of about you. I'm gonna be singing your praises in a little bit. And then it looks like we've got Mama Sean in the house. And, okay, so Puzzycat is lurking. All right, well, aloha, Puzzycat. Good to not see you. Well, that didn't come out right. I'm glad you're here. How about that? Anyway, so, super stoked y'all are here. And Terry and Scotland saying aloha to my kitties. Two of my kitties are out on my back porch just chilling because it's a good day. But last night, it was so cute. I had the screen door shut, which meant dog forbid. The cats actually had to use the cat door to get in the house, which is just beneath them, basically. Hey, Felicia Nichols, good to see you. So, let's see here. Wait, did Puzzycat just say he's not here? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Everybody can hear the story. So, I'm in my house, and the screen door is closed, and suddenly I hear a little jingle jingle of my wind chimes, which aren't actually wind chimes because they're inside, so they aren't catching any wind, which is why I thought it was weird that I heard the jingle jingle of the wind chimes. And then I heard thump pump, and it was like, oh, a cat just landed on my floor. And I looked back, and Leo had jumped through my open window and caught the rainbow, or the wind chimes. I'm telling you guys, my word recall after the stroke is problematic. Anyway, he hit the wind chimes with his tail, I think, and he came inside, and I said, hi there. And then I was like, oh, it's time for wet food. And so I put out the wet food, and he just looked at me, and he sat there, and he didn't want the wet food. He just came in for a little ear scritch. And then I gave him the ear scritch, and then he left. That's all he wanted was some lovin's, not even some wet foods. He's just such a cute little wild boy. I love my little Leo. So thankful that Puzzycat knew what Leo's name is. Also super stoked to see Trail Dust 55 in the house right now. You're a little bit early, my friend. We've got a little bit to wait until we get to our Lono listening break, but I am glad you are here. All right, so let's get the party started, and then I'm going to talk about Baby Bo, you guys. I'm going to talk about Baby Bo because he knows things. All right, let's do it. All right, so here we go. Puzzycat, buck off. That's right, he wanted to be secret, but I was talking to him, even though he was secretly here and nobody was supposed to know. I have my ways, Puzzycat. Well, actually, that's not true, but I know people who have their ways, and I know Terry in Scotland, and he had his ways, so he knew you were here. All right, Darlene in the house. Good to see you, Darlene. And let's see here. Oh, also, E-Music in the house. I knew there was somebody else besides Darlene. Good to see you, E-Music. All right, so Baby Bo might still be in the house, and I'm talking about him now, so I hope he's here. If he's not here, we're talking about him behind his back, but if he is here, we're talking about him to his face. Either way, Baby Bo knows all of the things. Hey, Andre, having ways, is that like having ways and means? No, not always. If you have the ways, but you don't have the means, then there's just no way, man. All right, so good to see you, Andre. All right, so, as you guys might know, I live in a very tiny house, and my kitchen is very small. My counter space, very limited. I have a bias against countertop appliances. Because I don't have countertop for the appliances. So like the whole air fryer thing, not happening. Microwave thing, not happening. Coffee maker, not happening. These are all things that are not happening. One thing that's happening though is Terry in Scotland is cheering 1,000 biddies. But that doesn't take up any of my counter space. So we're good with that, right? And Andre, yeah, 500 square feet. There's just not a whole lot, right? So, Bainy Bo mentioned this invention called an instant hot water heater. Or, no, not instant hot water, instant hot water dispenser. And he made it sound so wonderful that I actually went and bought one. I went and bought one. This was a while ago. And part of the reason why I went and bought one was because I didn't have hot water in my, in coming out of my kitchen sink, right? Andre, thank you so much for that 1,000 biddies. All right, so I finally did buy one, and it is awesome. And I have spoken of it several times before, and a couple of you guys have even asked about it. Like, what is this wonderful invention? This wonderful invention is this. It is my Narcissus instant hot water dispenser with a 3-liter tank. It comes out in 115 degrees. Exactly, Trail Dust. My house is 1 foot wide and 500 feet long. That is exactly it, Trail Dust. It is, what do they call the shotgun? It's a really long shotgun shack. And Andre, thank you so much for gifting all of those subs to all of those peeps. And now we've got Rick in the house. Okay, finally broke into Twitch. There we go. Yes. So, Rick, what you're seeing on my screen right now is one of my favorite inventions. You'll see behind the Narcissus, we've got the KitchenAid. The KitchenAid mixer stand is so many tools in one. I can justify that taking countertop space. Hey, Scar, good to see you. But the instant hot water heater I use multiple times a day. I'm not going to lie. And if you guys, Mama Sean, we don't even need a hot water heater to get hot water at the sink. Not surprised, Mama Sean. I was actually, just the other day, maybe yesterday, I was watering my, raised bed in the front yard. And, so the water was coming straight. I was filling a bucket to water my yard or to water my raised bed, and the water coming straight out of the outside faucet. I put my hand under it, and it was warm water. I was really surprised because, as Mama Sean knows from living in the Pacific Northwest, we normally get cold water all year round. Or vaguely cool water all year round coming out the faucet. It's never warm. When I went to Texas and was trying to get cold water out of the faucet, that just was not happening. And in Arizona, I'm sure the same exact thing. The water is flipping hot when it comes out of that silly water fountain. And she said, let there be hot water. And her mighty machine, there was hot water. It was. What a miracle of technology. Absolutely, dude. I'm telling you, man, I really, and Rick, yeah, I don't really want to go with the 220. I've got a hot water heater, I think that's got the 220, and that's good enough, my friend. But for real, you guys, it comes out in 5 different temperatures. So if you're like a super, high-end fancy pants tea drinker, and it's just like, oh, well, green tea is best brewed at 115 degrees, or whatever. You've got 115, 160, 185, 200, and 212. And it can be dispensed in 6, 8, 12, or 8 or 16 ounces all at once. You guys, if you think you want one, if you think you need one, I'm telling you right now, I have a bias against countertop appliances, but I love this countertop appliance. This is not a sponsored, absolutely not sponsored, but Narcissus is awesome. Although it looks like Terry in Scotland has a, hold on, he told me, Terry in Scotland has a Cook's Professional 2.5 liter. And he must like his too, because he and Baney Bo were the ones that kind of were like, no, you really need it. No, really, dude, you totally need it. It's totally helpful, dude. Dude, no, it's worth the counter space. Okay, so they didn't really say it exactly like that, but it was Baney Bo and Terry and Scotland going, brr, 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 brr. Is it autofill or old style pour in the tank? It's not autofill. You have to, you can either, here, let's get the picture back. And by the way, Andre, I'm not ignoring you. Thank you so much for all of the biddies. I'm going to say 600, no, I'm going to say another 1,000 biddies on top of the original 1,000. And I'm not sure if you did another round of gift subs, because we're on level flippin' 4. So if you did another level or whatever, then thank you for that as well. I just got a little bit obsessed with my hot water heater situation. But let's see here. So Instant Hot is right here. So you can see on the vague side view that the water tank in the back has a handle. A lid and a handle. You can carry it over the stove, or the sink actually is where you would want to carry it to, not the stove. Anyway, I don't do that. I have a vodka bottle that from Jason Momoa's vodka, the Miley or whatever vodka. I have an empty one of the, well, it's not empty, it's full of water, and I just use that to fill it up with. So I guess you could say I filled my hot water dispenser with vodka, which isn't really true, but whatever. And yes, Darlene, exactly. So glad this works. It's nice to have some nice things that benefit you. Talking about nice things, you guys, for the first time in I don't even know how many years, I actually have a full... I don't know if I want to brag about this. I'm going to brag about it anyway. I actually have a fully functioning kitchen faucet. The handle stays on. That was an issue that needed to get fixed. I have hot water, fully hot water. I have fully cold water, and the spray hose works. My sister, when she installed my faucet, forgot to install my spray hose, so she came over yesterday and did it. So now, for the first time in probably a decade, I have a fully functional kitchen faucet with hot and cold running water and a spray handle that actually sprays. I can't tell you how much easier it is to do dishes. Y'all, I was boiling water to do dishes. Not that, like in 2026, I was still boiling water in order to do dishes. That is not fun. Exactly. I even have indoor plumbing now, says Terry. Exactly. And let's see here. So, as I was bragging about my indoor plumbing, what did y'all have to say? When we were shut down for COVID, we had to have a tea. We had to have a tea expert lady explain tea and how herbal tea is not even tea, and she was a snob and kind of annoyed me. Yeah, that actually, Andre, that totally tracks. Some tea and coffee or coffee snobs can be a little bit unbearable. I'll be the first to admit, I don't appreciate instant coffee, and I definitely don't like powdered creamer. But I'll also be the first to admit that I'll drink instant coffee with powdered creamer, if I have to. And let's see here, Trail Dust. Yes, Terry and Baney Bo are now sock puppet. Naked sock puppet. You can't forget the naked part. They're naked. Naked sock puppets. And Darlene, is it hard to keep clean? No, it's really, well, yes and no. It's really easy to keep clean. However, the way I make it, which is for my coffee, sometimes it gets like coffee splatters, and because it's in the kitchen, you do need to wipe it down because random kitchen stuff hits it. But no, it's super easy to keep clean. And in fact, actually, after you use it so much, it does this weird thing, and it kind of cleans out itself in a weird way. But the water tank is basically the only thing you really need to clean. And whenever I've cleaned it, I've been surprised at the lack of biofilm that is in there. I think it's because it doesn't get very much light where I have it stored in the kitchen. Like if you had it right by a window or some other light source, It might get more biofilm. You know what I'm talking about, that stuff. But no, and the thing is, I mean, the tank is, it's just as easy to clean as, the drawer of your crisper in your refrigerator. I think it's even made of the same material. Yeah, exactly, Rick. Yeah, you can open the lid. See here, let's go. I can't believe we're still talking about this, but I'm glad we are, because I just love this stupid thing. And that's right, it's a stupid thing, but I love it anyway. But I can't find it now. Here it is. Yeah, so that thing with the yellow sticker on it, that's the lid. You can take it off. And that's where I pour the vodka water in it. It's just water. But like I said, there's the handle that you can see part of, and you can just, haul it to the sink if you really want. And let's see here. Darlene, I refill mine after every use, so always holds clean water. I actually use mine. I probably fill and refill that thing multiple times a day. The water in mine, it's always got water in it for the most part, but it really is, it's not stagnant water by any stretch. I use that, even though I have hot water in my sink, if you haven't been running hot water, it takes a minute to get the hot water to flow through the pipes to get hot again, right? Well, if I've just got something that I want to wipe off the counter, I'll just wet my rag or my sponge with the 165 degree water, and now my sponge has 165 degree water in it, and I can do whatever. I use that instant dispenser for so many things. And Andre's right. Cup noodle, you can use it for just the cup noodle. You can do you can use it for a lot of different stuff. And let's see here. And yes, a new show, Molly fixes stuff and has to do with water. And this time I won. It was a long battle before I won, Andre. It was a very long battle. I'll just leave it at that. And Puzzycat, you love your outside shower. I would actually not mind having an outside shower. It's got hot and cold water. It's closed like a sauna. I use it all the time, even in the winter. That sounds nice. And you guys, we hit a hardcore hype train. Thank you so much. And let's see here. So is there naked sock body, white, beige? Well, it's always going to be white, dude. Sorry. But the insides of my, these parts of my arms, Andre, he's asking if the naked sock puppets are always going to be white. Yeah, they're going to be fish belly white. That's just how that works. Let's see here. So Darlene saying, yeah, I hear you. When you first go to the water and get the water turned back on, the water pump going, you have to boil the water to do dishes, drink bottled water until the water is up and running. Exactly. It is a pain. Then a bucket of water to flush the toilet too until the water is on. Exactly, dude. And okay, so I missed so many comments. And yes. So coming from the bottom up, Terry in Scotland says that I do love my new toilet. I do love my new toilet. I love my new toilet. I love my new hot water heater. I love my new kitchen faucet. It's almost like a brand new house now. And let's see here. Shock is in the house, letting us all know something that that you may or may not already know, which is August 27th, Thursday, August 27th at 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 6 p.m. West Coast time, and then 9 p.m. Pretend there's another 3 down here. And then 9 p.m. East Coast time, Andy Bumatai is going to do a live stream. I don't know if these are going to be weekly live streams. I cannot answer or confirm nor deny that. I do not know. But I definitely know that Andy Bumatai, not Andre, because Andre is not Andre Bumatai. He's Andre. He's got a lot of different last names, actually, so I'm not going to tell you what his last name is, because he might be going by a different one next time. But Andy Bumatai, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 6 p.m. West Coast time, 9 p.m. East Coast time, live stream. I hope we're all going to be there. And Andre asks what Mama Sean thinks is an excellent question. So are you really nude if your body is covered in tattoos? And Shock, I think, has the perfect answer. You are not nude. You're naked. And I don't know technically if that's the right answer, but if I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I would have chosen that answer. You're not nude, you're naked. Exactly. You got lots of those French names. Yes, exactly. Oh, but Terry in Scotland is just like, wow, hold on. Naked means you have no clothes on. Naked means you have no clothes on and you're up to something. Oh. All right. Well, then maybe it's just naked. And all right, let's see here. Let's see here. Trail Dust, I missed something. Are we keeping hot water in our crispers now? Well, you know, we're trying. We're trying, and we're not doing very good at it, but that's okay. We're still trying. And speaking of trying and not being very good at it, recently I decided to try, emphasis on the word try to learn to start painting. And so I got some, my sister actually gave me a bunch of acrylic paints, and I bought a whole bunch of paintbrushes. And so I've been trying to learn to paint-ish, kind of, and I'm not very good. So see, it's always important to try, even if you're not very good. Here is my first attempt at a palm tree. Well, actually, what it was my first attempt at blending orange to red. And the first attempt was crummy, but then I redid it, and it was kind of cool. And that's this one. And then I attempted a palm tree. First time, I need practice. But I'm not embarrassed by this. I do need practice, but I'm not embarrassed by this. This one, however, this was me. This is me trying to do a fir tree. Now, it's not horrible, but it's also not good. I don't know how many fir trees have two tops, but this one does. So when you cut it down for your Christmas tree, you're going to need 2 stars. But for my very first attempt, I figure it's not that bad, and everybody needs, you're only going to get better. Everybody needs to try. And, but this one, this is my picture of nothing, and it's the one that I'm most impressed of about whatever I'm trying to say. My sister even was impressed. Let's see if I can do it. This is my background thing that God dang it, here. God dang it, hold on. There we go. There we go. I was trying to learn how to blend colors and stuff, and so I did this, and it looks, my sister saw it, she was like, wow, that looks just like an opal. And she's like, I wouldn't know how to paint an opal, but you totally painted an opal, the color of an opal. And now I'm afraid to paint over it, because it's pretty with all the pastel colors. So this is my picture of nothing, and it's the one I'm most proud of. But as Trail Dust says, you have to start and you have to try. You have to actually try. eMusic, that's actually part of my problem. My sister is an actual artist, like professional, like she gets paid to do art, which is why I never bothered to even try before, because it's just like, when I was 9 and she was 5, she was better at drawing than I was already. Like to such not just better, but like to such a degree of better that at 9 I was like, oh, I never mind. It was just no point. And thank you guys for such kind words on the trees. And this one actually is growing on me. No pun intended. This one, the longer I step away from it, the more I'm like, well, it's acceptable. I actually don't mind this one, even though I see like a quadrillion errors and like, oh, that you didn't. The brush should not have done that. But but I'm excited to keep trying. Thank you so much, Terry. That's very sweet of you. If nothing else, I just really like blending colors. I mean, I might not be the most foreground oriented, like let's paint a tree with flowers and a bumblebee, but I'll blend the background, no problem. And I guess that's right, Chuck. Nobody knows it's a mistake but me. But still, I don't know. And let's hear Andre. So a compliment is a big thing from a little sister that is a professional artist. Oh, absolutely, Andre. Anything in my artistic milieu that my sister is like, oh, hey, that's not bad. That is the highest praise. That is super. I can't. Look, my sister and I might not be super close friends. We might not even talk that much, although we're talking more since the stroke. But I will never, ever deny, and I will always be in awe of her artistic talents. I will always sing her praises in regards to what she can do with art. She can do more with art with her eyes closed and with her eyes closed and both hands tied behind her back. She can do a better drawing than I can. And Terry in Scotland, soon you'll be drinking absinthe and lopping ears off. That is the dream, right, Terry? Losing an ear and tripping balls on green juice that tastes like licorice. I can't think of anything worse, actually, but yes, she actually did when she saw my first painting that I did a while back. It was a guided painting by an artist that was like, okay, first you do this, now you do this. Anyway, she said I had very Van Gogh-esque qualities, so I was actually kind of impressed with that. And you were offered, wait, hold on, what do you have? Okay, hold on, I've got to go back up. Okay, so we got trees, so when do we dive into orcas with salmons on their heads? Oh, you know, God damn it. Oh, apologies for that. But that was truly, that just what... Hi, welcome to my real vocabulary. Andre, I spent days, Andre. Okay, so I had this green and blue blending. I did the green and blue blending days before I did the tree. So I had this green and blue card, and I was like, what can I paint on it? I spent days trying to figure out what to paint on this thing. An orca would have been perfect. I don't mean to yell at you over this, but thank you for that idea, dude. Thank you for a good idea. Okay, now that's what Pussycat says. I have an original Highwayman painting of a Florida sunset. I don't know what a Highwayman painting is, Pussycat, but you said you were offered $20,000 for it over 25 years ago. Wow. What is a Highwayman painting? Is that a painting from one of the guys in the group, the Highwaymen? Is the Highwayman a well-known artist that I am unaware of? Because I've never taken art history. That's so awesome. I love having real, send a picture of it, Pussycat. I love having real art, not just prints, not just, posters, but like actual, like this is painted on paper or canvas or whatever. I love having real art, even if it's, an artist that nobody's heard of. And nobody will heard of. will hear of is actually what I meant to say there. I'm excited. Thank you, Andre, for giving me some grace. You're not yelling, you're excited. Exactly. Exactly, Darlene. Exactly, Pussycat. I will be doing another one with an orca. And Andre, thank you for saying that I got the trees great. They're fair to Midland. Trail Dust, you made me wonder if I could paint better using your feet. You know what? Maybe you can. I actually saw a cute little painting tutorial that taught me and could teach you how to make kitty cats with your thumbprint. Grammar is hard. Words are jarder. And E-Music, you went to Hawaii last year. Lovely. You mean the island or, well, yeah, you mean the island, right? We have a lot of real art, says Trail Dust. Just need more refrigerator magnets. There you go. And let's see here. Andre, my sister went to the Van Gogh Museum and she said she was really impressed with Van Gogh and his artwork, and she thinks that most of the Van Gogh artwork that the majority of people have been exposed to, i.e. Starry Night, The Cafe, all that, she actually thinks that's some of his worst work. And I mean, it's wonderful work. She doesn't deny that, but she actually thinks it's some of his least impressive paintings at all. The best known Van Goghs are actually, as far as she's concerned, some of the crummiest. Shock. Oh my God, you're not the first person to... Shock says, drawing on the right side of the brain. Great book. Teaches drawing as a skill, not a talent. Absolutely, Shock. I had, when I was in college... You know what? I just lied to you guys, and I didn't mean to. I said that I've never taken an art class before, and actually I have taken an art class before. Not as an art class standalone, but when I was in college, the college that I went to, the first year of your college, you were supposed to take what's known as a core program, which was one class, but it was the entirety of your full year. And it was 16 credits each quarter, and it was taught by four professors. And one of the professors in my core program was an art teacher. So there was a segment of my first year in college where we actually did have art. And in that framework, he required us to draw sort of an item in our kitchen, I think he said. Just pick an item. So I drew a really big slice of a tomato. And he, sort of walked us through, how to do it. Anyway, I had the tomato there, and I was kind of impressed with how the tomato ended up working out. Anyway, my classmate, whose mom was a professional artist, I was talking to him about how much easier it was to draw from the reference point, blah, blah, blah. He recommended the drawing on the right side of his brain, right side of your brain. His mom, who was a professional artist, used it to help her even further hone her natural born talent. And so, I really should get that book because I want to know how to draw, but my sister scares me. That's what it boils down to. Pussycat. Okay, there were 4 original black men who were artists, and they panned landscapes for the tourists, and they wound up being very collectible in the art world. Oh, right. So yeah, sometimes those random folk artists, which is I guess what the Highwaymen would be considered, folk artists, that art can be worth so flippin' much money. Excuse me. I got to go to the one art museum in Seattle, and that was I got to go to one art museum in Seattle, right, and that was the Asian Art Museum, and it was great. Even the all-gender bathroom had a great design and had a great flow. Oh, awesome. Now, the Asian museum that you went to, was that the one in the International District, or was that the one up on Capitol Hill? Because Seattle has at least 2 Asian art museums, and so I'm just curious which one it was. Because I've been to the one on Capitol Hill. I've not been to the one yet in the International District. Excuse me. And let's see here. Oh, cool, Puzzy. You're taking a Puzzy. You're taking a Puzzy of it. Taking a picture of it. Jeez Louise. And Puzzy's like, I have one of the best pictures. And Shock, I don't know what you mean, but I appreciate the concept. I appreciate the words. It seems like you do have talent anyway, based on your recounted experiences. I don't know what experiences you speak of, and I'm not sure why you think that, but that's very neat, and I'm happy and thankful that you think that, but it confuses me. And indeed, Terry in Scotland, I went to the Evergreen State College. And when I say the Evergreen State College, I mean the Evergreen State College. It is part of the title. In the acronym for how the college is, you know, like University of Washington. Some people might say, I'm going to the University of Washington, but the UW, their initials, it's not TUW, it's just UW. The Evergreen State College is TESC, the Evergreen State College. So, there's none other but the Evergreen State College. And Mama Sean, drawing classes teach you good techniques and tricks. Try a class, you may be surprised at how much you enjoy it. That has been my goal, but in my area, there's not a lot of drawing classes. There's the occasional painting class, a lot of pottery classes, but the drawing classes I'm having a little less success in finding. And let's see here. Oh, Shock, awesome. Our local university is the College of William and Mary in Virginia. Exactly. And then Terry in Scotland also. Terry in Scotland, are you telling me that Texas has a TESC as well? Texas Eastern State College? Or are you just making that up? Because I vaguely think that you might be making that up. And it was when I went to Volunteer Park. Yes. Okay, Andre, that's the one. That's the Asian Art Museum that I have been to as well. Andre tells me, it was in Volunteer Park. Remember I went on a great adventure from getting a recommendation for going from your girlfriend when they were in the Waku? Yes, I do remember. And although, no, I don't remember where you got that recommendation, but I do remember. Oh, yeah, Mary. Yeah. Anyway, but I do remember when you went on that adventure. And I had a feeling that that was the art museum you were talking about, but I wasn't quite sure. And Trail Dust, does Lono have a song about refrigerator art? No, but he does have a song that, much like Pussycat's painting, which came from the 1970s, the video that we're going to watch today is from the 70s, from Waylon Jennings, in fact. And I love Waylon Jennings. And so I hope that Lono does more outlaw country music for his covers, because I really enjoyed that cover. And we will be watching it momentarily, but not a wine drinker, but the wine and art classes look okay to try. Rick, that's funny you should say that, because the only painting class I have ever taken was a sip and paint, and it was a guided painting thing. And that you were supposed to drink your booze and paint your paints. I had a beer. I didn't have wine. I had a beer. But it was fun. I want to do it again. And yeah, Andre with the Black Hole Sun in statue in front looking over Seattle. Yeah, that's definitely, I think it's the Wing Luke Museum is what it's called. The Asian Art Museum up in Volunteer Park. And exactly, Terry in Scotland, the artistic juices aren't flowing today. More wine! I must have more wine. That's exactly it. And let's see here. So, what did we have here? That in case I missed. I did do a good tomato, Shock. Let's see here. So I hate to say this, but I almost got my sister flunked out of her art class clay project when we traded classes once. She took one of my classes and did great. She didn't tell me her art teacher was going to pull a quick quiz with hands-on clay work, but then we fessed up, traded classes, and she got to do it over, thankfully. Oh, that's funny, Darlene. Now, I guess my question is, though, since you fessed up, did you have to retake that test that your sister did so well on? Or did it only go one way? And Terry in Scotland, you took an art appreciation course in college? Yeah, I've never done that. But, of course, the first question was, how do you define art? And we could sit here for years and never come to an agreement. And let's see here. I took an art history class, says Andre, and the teacher said if we do all the assignments, we get an A. But we covered environmental art. It was an interesting subject. Yeah, that would be. Actually, though, Andre, that is so interesting you should say that, because we are going to talk about environmental art later on after the Lono listening break. And you will all see why. All right, so it is 1 minute past our Lono listening break, so let's listen to some Lono doing a Waylon Jennings cover, and I will go grab the picture that Puzzycat sent, and after that, we will talk about some environmental art, actually. One thing, though, I need you guys to think about. Today, we will be talking about some aquatic animal stuff. Today, we will have a map. But I don't have any idea about a food topic, right? So if you guys can maybe think about some food topics, then we'll have the trifecta. And Darlene, you did have to take the test. And you did good, of course. All right, so let's listen to some Lono, and then I'll be back with a Puzzycat picture, or a picture that Puzzycat has, and then environmental art stuff. All right, do it.
her softly in their bed. I recall that gypsy woman, silver spaces closing her eyes, ivory skin against the moonlight, and the taste of life's sweet wine. I recall that gypsy woman, silver spaces closing her eyes, ivory skin against the moonlight, and the taste of life's sweet wine. And the taste of life's sweet wine.
All right, there we go. Lono listening break. He's got a couple more up there that are brand new, but since we only have one Lono listening break per day, per stream, I grabbed this one because it was Waylon Jennings, and I happen to like Waylon Jennings. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Stevie Wonder too, but I like Waylon Jennings better. And so I hope, Mr. Lono, if you're out there listening, you know, more Waylon, please. More Highwayman, more outlaw country, more 70s awesomeness. And yes, exactly, Stream Elements. Thank you, Rick, for being the moderator of all moderators. Throwing down the link. LonoMusic.com is where you can buy Lono's CDs, but you're not going to find that song on any of his CDs. So you're going to have to go to Lono's YouTube channel, because that's where that is. And let's see here. What did I miss while I was looking for that Pussycat picture? Oh, I missed a bunch of stuff about, oh, interesting, about European bread. But let's see here. You guys know all about the European bread because that's what we was talking about. But I'm going to show you this. Boom. This is the picture that Pussycat just sent me right now. This is hot off the presses, man. This is the Highwayman painting that someone 25 years ago offered Pussycat $20,000 for. It's called The Sunset. And as Pussycat mentioned, he's got another one of their paintings, but it's in an area of his house that is too dark for pictures. The other one that we're not looking at is called The Swamp. The one that we are looking at is called, let's see, well, it's a sunset in South Florida around the Fort Lauderdale area and Miami. So that is that. What about Ray Charles singing country? I do like Ray Charles singing country, but you see, actually I enjoy a lot of Ray Charles's country songs, but if Lono does a Ray Charles song doing country, it's still just a country song that Lono's doing. So anyway, now that we've got Florida and environmental art all in the topic of topicals, I would like to let you guys know a little bit about this. Oh no. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. So there is an installation of art that is being used in an environmental way in a lot of different places, or in Florida actually. Florida specifically is using the art. We've got some other environmental issues that we'll be talking about, but Florida is using art to help create an artificial reef. There is a university in Florida, I would tell you which one, but I can't remember, that actually grows coral to transplant back out into the ocean to help grow the coral reef. And they there's several of these that are done in different formats, but let's watch this little video. It'll tell you more than what I'll be able to tell you.
Yet another traffic jam hits Miami. but this one is like no other. 22 cars, molded from carbon-capturing concrete, are waiting to be dropped to the bottom of the ocean.
I like the idea to bring something which we all know to be stuck in a traffic jam down to an experience that is quite extraordinary.
This is Reefline, an environmental art project backed by a voter-approved $5 million grant from the city of Miami Beach.
We're on our way now to see the culmination of a project that has been 6 years in the making.
One by one, the 13-ton cars are lowered into the water about 180 meters from the Miami Beach shore. Divers carefully guide them into traffic formation, but without frustrated drivers, just fish happy to discover new homes, as seen in this artist's drawing of the completed project.
That we feed them, so they get a very varied diet.
What will tie the art and marine life together are the baby coral growing inside this Miami lab. Colin Ford is preparing 2,200 coral plugs to be hand-planted onto the submerged cars during the next few months.
Eventually, some of the soft corals that we're growing are gonna grow 7 feet tall. So it's really gonna look like a whole forest growing on this fossilized traffic jam.
That's the vision for a Florida reef revival, after a 2023 marine heat wave killed off 2 species of coral further south in the Keys. The coral being grown for the Reefline project are hardier in warm temperatures and have been collected from species that naturally moved into Miami's waters.
Soon the public will be able to swim from the beach to the underwater cars where they can dive down and plant even more baby corals.
Reefline's founder, Jimena Caminos, says the project will eventually stretch 11 kilometers, with more public art doubling as hybrid reefs added over the years.
And we're honored to have this possibility today, and to be able to leave such a legacy, because this reef will outlive us.
A community celebration marks Reefline's successful deployment, now an underwater symbol for humanity's potential to reverse its harm. Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera, Miami Beach, Florida.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture.
All right, so, Rick, but why the shape of a car? Rick, why do artists art? I cannot answer that question. It was the artist's vision to have a traffic jam under the water. I cannot speak to what the artist's vision was. What I can tell you is they have continued this particular concept of using art to create reef in Florida. In fact, at least a second, but I think it's actually more. It's not just the second one. They've got multiple art installations. In fact, one artist has created a bunch of mermaids. And here's a little quick video about that, also in Florida.
And now to a new adventure under the sea.
South Florida divers will soon start seeing mermaids. Local 10's Andrew Perez is live in Hollywood to explain for us. Andrew.
Well, to be clear, this is only the beginning of this monumental project. This is a fun way for people to really understand that we are responsible for everything out there. We set out from Fort Lauderdale, headed south toward Hollywood. Before you knew it, we found this barge. Crews are hard at work sinking and installing 20 ocean-friendly artificial reefs.
It's amazing. This has been a long-awaited, long process, working with over 10 different agencies to get this done.
Shelby Thomas, the founder of the Ocean Rescue Alliance, says more than a year later, finally, they're adding another reef park. This is their first in Broward County.
We really want to make adaptive solutions for marine environments. We're seeing all kinds of climate pressures, and we want to be able to design reefs that can help restore marine environments, but also expand ranges to do restoration, to provide coastal resilience.
It's educational, it's safe for the ocean, it's eco-friendly.
The city of Hollywood all in, spearheading this latest reef park with funding and partnership. It's an area without the reef support. Industrial divers jump on in and arrange these pieces very intentionally, as they've done in previous projects just off Palm Beach County. They weigh between 2,200 to 3,300 pounds apiece. Of the 20 pieces below, 5 are shaped as mermaids or divers, part of a bigger picture project called 1,000 Mermaids. The Ocean Reef Alliance hoping to continue installing these mermaid reefs all around the world.
So we hope to create diveable sites that each city can really connect with the local community through that art initiative, but more importantly, help with restoration. The fish move in the night of, and I like to say if you build it, they will come, and that is very true with the fish.
And so will the people, for that matter. It's really important to point out that you can actually create your own customizable reef if you want to, for a memorial or for a business ad, and drop it down there. It's a really good way to get involved as well. We've got so much more information about this. These reefs are just going to grow and flourish over the next couple of months, attracting more marine life. We've got more information. We've got the exact locations where these reefs are up on our website right now, local10.com. We're live in Fort Lauderdale tonight. I'm Andrew Perez, Local.
All right, so I agree, Rick. I prefer the theme of the mermaids as well. But ultimately, if the coral is going to overtake the cars anyway, I guess I don't really care what the foundation is. I don't know, as they didn't mention it, I don't know if they're going to be planting any coral on those mermaids the way they did with the car, or if they're just hoping that naturally it will start to form itself, because they didn't mention any holes or any plugs or any, they didn't mention anything like that. So I'm not sure if it's going to be treated exactly the same way, but it is still artificial reef. And do I have a speech impediment if you're short-tongued? That's funny, Terry. So let's see here. Andre's coming in with the Underwater Museum of Art. UMA is the first permanent underwater sculpture garden in the United States, located in the Gulf of Mexico off Walton County, Florida. The museum sits 58 feet deep and roughly 0.93 miles from Grayton Beach State Park. It features dozens of juried sculptures that double as artificial reefs. Yeah, now see, this might be, now Andre, you're talking about like, it sounds like an official museum of underwater art. I'm not so sure. Well, no, I know for a fact that these pieces that we just saw in the news clips aren't part of that, because they're on the Atlantic side. So they're not in the Gulf of Mexico. Miami Beach, that's on the Atlantic side of Florida. If my map mind remembers correctly. So yeah, but I think it's awesome that Florida is doing all that. And Pussycat is talking about all these other things because there's so much fertilizer runoff in Florida. Actually, the measures that Florida is taking because of the fertilizer runoff are fantastic, because other states have this exact issue as well. And so hopefully people in other states with this issue, because almost any river in farm country has fertilizer runoff. Any river downriver from farm country has fertilizer runoff. This is an issue that a lot of rivers have. And so Pussycat's saying they're dropping millions of oyster shells in the rivers to make the water less polluted. And they're planting underwater grasses for the baby fish to hide and manatees to eat, which is super important, right? And let's see here. The Indian River, says Pussycat, is very polluted and has been the topic of discussion for years to replenish the environment. And it's just south of Puzzy. This is nothing new for South Florida waters. The Keys have many different things underwater. Right, exactly. Now, speaking of oyster shells, there is a bay in the Gulf of Mexico off of Texas. Let's see if I can remember where it is. Half Moon. It's called Half Moon Reef in Texas's Matagorda Bay. And it used to be a thriving oyster reef, but it has been degraded after decades of overharvesting and environmental pressures. And they have since started making an artificial reef in that area. And let's see here. Oh no, did I not? Wait, what? No. Oh. I forgot to give the pictures of the reef. All right, hold on. I'm so lame. Dang it, man. I had plans. They were cool. And now they're thwarted. But let's see here. We're going to find it anyway. There we go. Thank you for your patience. All right. This is, does it look like a reef? Why, it kind of is a reef, except for it's an artificial reef. It's an artificial reef in Texas, the bay that I'm talking about. And they created it for the oysters, and the oysters totally came in and started building their stuff. We have another, hey, if they got fertilizer runoff in the river, let a bit of that grow algae and use it as biofuel. Well, Andre, that overabundance of algae has a tendency to kill other native wildlife stuffuses. So they would have to sort of sequester that, but that actually isn't a bad idea. It would just need some engineering, but actually, yeah. And let's see here, Andre. Hey, did you hear they spotted the first river otter in the Bronx River in 100 years? No, I didn't, but that is awesome. And let's see here. Apparently, Rick is saying to eMusic, yeah, they stopped using salt in some areas, but in town here, they're building the salt mountains at the port right now. And let's see here. Have you seen some new trailers of a natural-made, man-created woven for a lonely woman in this one village? What a strange concept. I don't... Wait, have you seen the new trailers? Darlene, I'm not sure what you... Help me, Darlene. I'm not sure what you meant by that. Maybe I've seen it, but maybe not. But speaking of woven and stuff, I actually just read that there is a girl out of Hawaii. She's a woman now, but it started when she was a girl. She figured out a way to use coconut fibers to filter ocean water, and then she found out that the fungus that lives in coconut fibers actually eats plastic. And so they're doing all sorts of expansion on that research right now. So who knows? Coconut husk fibers might actually be the key to cleaning out microplastics in the ocean. And yeah, exactly, Pussycat. The algae is robbing the water of oxygen and kills fish. So we wouldn't want to encourage algae in the main river area. But Andre was suggesting perhaps diversion of the polluted water, etc. Okay, so let's see here. Darlene, I can't remember the title. I'll find it. This guy in the village has powers, and this guy he makes comes to life. Oh, you're talking about a movie. And yeah. I think it's called Wicker Man. I thought that movie looked really cute. Are you talking about the movie? And the little actor. Oh, okay, Darlene. Do you see how the chatter just scatters like squirrel? But yeah, who's the actor? Who's the actor who's tiny? The small guy, the dwarf, the guy with dwarfism. It's okay, The Wicker Man. This doesn't sound like the movie I know, but that exactly, Shock. It's words. Okay, so indeed, Shock. I think it might be called The Wicker Man. Because when I saw the ad for it, I was like, what? This isn't the Wicker Man. But the Game of Thrones short guy is who I'm talking about, yes. And he's the guy who's the magical wooden weaver guy. The Wicker Man in this movie is one word, if that helps. And honestly, I don't really remember if it's called The Wicker Man. But I think it might be. And yeah, it looks like a very cute and funny movie, and I want to see if we can get it. I can't remember what it's called though, so Terry, you can go looking for it, but I don't know what it's called, so I'm of no help you looking for it. And yeah, Pussycat, wrong midget, exactly. Yes, it's the Wicker Husband. Oh, is it just called Wicker? It's not called Wicker Man? Okay, it's just called Wicker. Yeah, she's an outcast fisherwoman, and she has the local basket maker weave her a husband, and apparently he is a very good man. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, it's a little cheeky. It looks very funny and very cute. So there we go. But okay, wow, totally got off topic. And yeah, Peter Dinklage, exactly. You know, I gotta tell you, considering his stature, I have to wonder, did he pick his last name? Because that last name seems really appropriate for someone who suffers, or who lives with, I guess not suffers, just lives with dwarfism. Dinklage. It just... Maybe it's me. Alright, so... let's see here. What else did I have to... Oh, yes. Okay, so... yeah, we were talking about art, and this popped into your mind. Go figure. There you go. Well, basket weaving is an art, for sure. But art, you don't have to have art to create an underwater reef, y'all. They actually have created an underwater reef in Vancouver, off Vancouver Island in British Columbia, and it is an old decommissioned 737 that has been completely stripped of all of its parts. It's been scrubbed of all of its grease. It's been removed of all of its wires and anything valuable. And they dropped it off into the ocean, and now it's covered in anemones and sea stars, and in the cargo bays is where baby rockfish get to, you know, be safe and get to be born. Well, not born, but get to live. And I've got a little video of that too. So this is not art. This is rubbish. This is rubbish. Andre's like, before, he's like, better art for artificial reef than just throwing out your rubbish. That is true, Andre, as a general rule. But somebody did throw out their rubbish. So there you go. Sometimes rubbish can do good. And yeah, in time it will be completely covered. Exactly. And I think it's kind of cool because I know that divers like to oftentimes explore, you know, wrecks. And diving wrecks can be, cave diving can be kind of dangerous. You can get caught up in there. It's so open that you still, like the cargo hold and everything, it's like, it's still so all open that you can get the impression and the feeling that you're like exploring a little cavernous whatever, but it's not nearly as dangerous as like the natural stuff. And eMusic, what are those mushroom-like things? Those are sea anemones. The vast majority of the things that were on there was a version of a sea anemone. And sea anemones usually are like, you know, a tubular structure that then has the tentacles out there to grab the fishies. But sometimes those tentacles just suck themselves back in. And so you just have that like nubby looking thing. So all of those nubby looking things, had they been expelled, would have looked like those flowery looking things. All technical language. Yeah, okay. And let's see here. Yeah, that airplane falls under the category of reused, precisely. And let's see here. No, New York City does not dump its garbage into the ocean. The practice of dumping manipulated waste and sewage sludge into the Atlantic Ocean was ended in 1992, following the Ocean Dumping Ban Act of '88, which set a federal deadline for '91. My best guess is, though, some rubbish still accidentally fell off the back of the truck into the water somehow. Regardless of, laws. I do know, though, that back in the 1900s, Victoria, British Columbia, all of their sewage went straight into the Strait of Juan de Fuca. They didn't have a sewage plant. They just flushed their toilet into the ocean. They don't do that anymore. But they did until like the 90s. And let's see here. Yes, Puzzycat coming in with the reality of what I was trying to say about the airplane being safe, because he's like, we have cave divers in the springs and they can get lost in the caves and drown. I have heard of this happening before. Exactly. Andre, cave diving is one of those white guy sports like spelunking. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong. And Terry in Scotland coming in with the truth. Bodies may still be dumped in the East River. Yeah, I have a feeling that there is some rubbish that ends up falling off the back of the truck wearing some cement shoes in a river or two around the New York, New Jersey area. Am I stereotyping? Yes. Do stereotypes come out of thin air? No. And on that note... Yeah, Darlene, Puzzycat says, Puzzycat, that doesn't surprise me. You can get turned around, confused down there. Don't go into caves you aren't knowledgeable about. Yeah, honestly, for real, if you're going to go into something you're not knowledgeable about, tie a rope to the entrance and follow your rope back out, right? I mean, like, come on, man. But, I'm sure that poses some other kind of danger that I am unaware of. But no, that is just, that is just not a sport I'm interested in. Not just, scuba diving I'm not really that interested in, but I could vaguely see myself trying it one day. But that whole in the cave thing? No. Did I mention no? And what did I have for dinner? I have not had dinner yet. It is only 6:19 p.m. I will be having some burritos, bean and cheese burrito, cucumber salad, there's something else in the fridge I'm going to eat that's a leftover, but I'm not going to tell you what, mostly because I can't remember right now. But I've got cucumber salad and I've got a bean and cheese burrito. And I know that those things don't sound like they go together, but I don't care. And then Andre, exactly, big people and caves don't always work out well. And I would love to think of myself as a little person. I would love to identify as a little person, but the physical reality is I'm not a little person. So, let's see here. Oh, awesome, Puzzycat. I go to Juniper Springs and they have a 3-mile canoe trail. Yeah, Puzzy, I'm not going to lie. Florida is definitely not a place that I'm like, yeah, let's go. But when I see the videos of the river system and those clear waters, I want to go kayaking in Florida like nobody's business. Then I start thinking about the alligators and I kind of talk myself out of it. But, dude, some of those, the only thing that keeps me from really doing the Florida let's go kayaking is I know that I would jump in the water, and I know that there would be an alligator in the water, because I happen to know one thing. I know a trick. And when you know this trick, you're smart. You know what waters to get into. In the South, Louisiana, Florida, all of these things, this trick works. So, if you want to know whether or not there's gators in that there water, there is a trick to find out. What you do is you walk down to the edge of the water and you put your hand in the water. And if that water is wet, yeah, there's gators in there, dude. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's how you know there's gators in there. All right, so totally change of subject. We don't have to talk about this very long because we don't have very much time left. But did you know that sometimes when you fly on an airplane, you don't fly on an airplane? Did you know that? If you go through Chicago O'Hare, you might book a flight that's on a bus. Did you know that? Sometimes when you book a flight, you ride a bus. Yeah, apparently Chicago thinks this is cool. Check this out.
A new American Airlines route connects Rockford to O'Hare, but not by plane. Take a look at this. It's called Landline. Passengers go through TSA security at Rockford's airport, hop on the bus, and go straight to their gate at O'Hare, then onto a flight to their next destination. The bus trip takes about an hour and a half with 5 departures a day from each airport. There's a similar service between Chicago and South Bend. American plans to track ridership through the holidays and may add more destinations. A new American Airlines route connects Rockford to O'Hare, but not by plane. Take a look at this.
Rick, do they cut the fare on that landline ride? No, I don't think they do, because I was reading an article about this dude who unknowingly booked a flight that had part of his flight on the ground. So he was under the impression he was going to be getting on a plane, but he did not. He got on the ground. And not only that, he missed his connecting flight because of traffic. And not only that, when he checked the status of his flight while he was on the bus, the status of the flight said in flight. And yeah, it's not its own flight. It's always going to be connecting to O'Hare. And I wouldn't like that at all either, Darlene. I would be very, very annoyed. And like the people said, this is happening out of Chicago O'Hare. And as you can see, Chicago's in the middle. And so it's happening out of South Bend, Indiana, and Rockford, Illinois. Rockford is 96 miles from Chicago. South Bend is 90 miles from Chicago. So it's about an hour and a half each way. But they are thinking about doing that. They're thinking about doing it in air. Wow, so many words. American Airlines is who's doing this. And American Airlines is thinking about expanding this project to other cities. I'm going to assume that, let's see here, Rick is saying they'll probably do that to our flight from ORD to Milwaukee, only 80 miles. I don't know what ORD is, but I do know that you might be able to answer this question, Rick. How long is a flight for only 80 miles? I mean, like, that you must be in the air for like 15 minutes, right? Like, how long does it take to fly 80 miles? Because I know that it takes about, ORD, Chicago O'Hare. Oh, is that what Chicago O'Hare is? Oh, interesting. Well, right now it looks like O'Hare doesn't have any. Well, first off, if you're flying American, maybe they will, but it looks like at the moment they don't have the buses doing it to Milwaukee. But if Milwaukee is only 80 miles from O'Hare, then they're probably going to be the next ones for sure to get it, right? But I know that like it takes the 4-hour drive between, well, the 3.5-hour drive between SeaTac and Vancouver, British Columbia. That's a 45-minute flight. So 90 miles, which is only an hour and a half, that's got to be like a 20-minute flight. 30 minutes airtime, an hour from boarding. Okay, yeah. So you're barely saving any time, really, it sounds like. All I know is I was really surprised when I found out that American Airlines is using buses as part of their flight plan. And let's see here. Andre coming in with the AI overview. A commercial jet flying a straight line distance 80 miles takes about 15 to 20 minutes of actual airtime, but the total gate to gate is typically 35 to 45 once you include taxiing, taking off, and landing procedures. Right, there you go. There you go. But yeah, Darlene, I am right there with you. It's like, take the train if you want. Shoot, take the bus if you want. But don't be putting me on a bus when I'm expecting a plane. I am buying a plane ticket. And yeah, that I am very curious, actually, Darlene, how much more it costs to go from, say, Rockford, Illinois to Chicago, Illinois on the plane ticket versus a bus ticket. Now, I understand the thing is when you go on the bus, like they said on the news thing, you've already gone through TSA to get on the bus. So you don't have to go through TSA. You know, there are some benefits than just taking a regular old bus, but I still don't want to take a bus when I'm thinking I'm going to be on a plane. And yeah, I'm just and Andre, a hovercraft is the answer to replacing the bus. Well, actually, if we were going to do hovercraft, I could sort of appreciate hovercraft being used for that, as opposed, I don't want humans of the regular average Joe flying hovercraft. We've already got enough traffic idiots on 2 dimensions. We don't need to bring them into a third. And hey, Thomas the Turtle, good to see you. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 46 months in a row, currently on a 4-month streak. We are just finishing talking about American Airlines and how they are starting to use buses in place of airplanes for some of their smaller connecting flights out of Rockford, Illinois, and out of South Bend, Indiana. Chicago's O'Hare American Airlines is using buses instead of planes. Pussycat throwing down his judgmental soapbox, because I was a little bit on a soapbox. Darlene and I were both on a soapbox, gosh darn it. That's why he has a lot of soapboxes, because there's lots of people on the soapboxes. But he's telling me, shut your pie hole, we've got 2 minutes. And Shock also was just like, 2 minutes. But now it's only 1 minute. So we're wrapping it up. And I want to say thank you guys for that level 4, level 5 hype train that we had. Super sweet. Thank everybody for subbing. Thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the more biddies. Thank you for commenting. I'm sorry that we didn't have a food topic today, but we at least did have a map. Okay? We had a map. All right. So we will see each other on Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. And then on Thursday, we will hopefully see each other at Andy Boomatai's live stream, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 6 p.m. West Coast, 9 p.m. on that there East Coast. I hope... Oh, thank you, Shock. We did talk about food today. I mentioned a tomato. Oh, and I talked about what I was going to eat for dinner. And hey, Andy Boomatai in the house. Good to see you, Andy. All right, cool. Yeah, every stream I've gotten, I've been talking about your stream because I am really excited about Thursday. All right, thank you, Andy, for being here and showing face. Thank you for having that live stream on Thursday. We will see each other then. And yeah, all right. That's all I got. I hope you had a good weekend. Take care.